What's up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos, and let's get started. So you guys seem to enjoy my giant recent swatchathon that I did, so I thought I would just go ahead and do another one. I'm actually really excited about today's video because I am partnering up with Believe Beauty for this one. And if you guys haven't heard of them before, I did do a review of some of their polishes in the past, so I'll link that up in the cards for you. But basically, they are a dollar store cruelty-free cosmetics line. They have makeup, they have nail polish, they have all sorts of accessories and stuff, and they just announced and released 90 brand new nail polishes, and they are good. And no, I'm not going to be reviewing all 90 of them today. That would be the longest video of all time. But I do have 22 of them to go over, and I think we're going to have some fun. So within all these new shades, we have a few different varieties, different lines that Believe Beauty has come out with. So really quickly, I'm going to go over them. I did showcase 4 of them in today's video, and then I do have a 5th in that previous video that I've done before. So first up, I'm going to be talking about their Ultra Shine line. This is like the go-to dollar store $1 polish. That's actually what I'm wearing on my nails right now. I have 5 different shades on right now because I couldn't decide. But yeah, so we'll go over that one first. They come in a round bottle. You'll see subtle differences in the bottles, so I'll explain that as well. Then we have their Jetsetter formula, and this is just their like quick drying on the go type of polish. Then we have the Jelly Glaze line, which is one I'm extremely excited about because, as you know, I love jellies. But basically, these polishes do have a jelly effect, meaning they're super shiny. They have this like plumping kind of effect on the nails. It's very cool. I have a whole video about jellies too if you guys are curious to see that, but these ones are actually full coverage. So they have the jelly-like feel, but they are full coverage, which is pretty awesome. And then the 4th type is the Mad About It line, which, as you could probably guess from the name, is some matte nail polishes, and you know how much I love matte nail polishes. So yeah, let's just jump into the review, starting with, like I said, the Ultra Shine dollar nail polishes. So roll footage. So as always with my swatch and review videos, I am going to be using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. So today I am using the Believe Beauty Diamond Clear Nail Guard. So starting off with the Ultra Shine nail polishes, this one is called Endless Summer, and it's a really beautiful medium cool toned pink cream. So this is the first polish that I ever tried from this line, and I was immediately impressed with that first brush stroke. First of all, the formula on this is extremely easy to work with. It was extremely self-leveling as well, so you can even see while I'm being not particularly careful with brush strokes, it really easily smooths out into one layer, which is something I do not often see with less expensive nail polishes, so just that alone was extremely impressive. But the coverage and color of this polish were just incredible too. I got perfect coverage in 2 coats, and it looks so perfect on the nail even without top coat. So moving on to the shade Razzle Dazzle, and clearly that first polish gave me some pretty high expectations, and honestly the rest of the collection did meet those expectations. So this shade was another one that was really impressive formula and coverage. It was honestly almost a 1-coater for me, and even though it was this kind of berry color that I typically see as a jelly formula, this one was definitely a cream, so it was very easy to get that full coverage with little to no effort. I did do that in 2 coats, and again it was very self-leveling, very smooth and easy application, and it looks really great and leveled out on the nail. Next up we have the shade Worth Your While, and in low lighting this one seems like it's fairly similar to the shade Razzle Dazzle, but it's actually very different, as you can see from me applying it on the nail. This one is a nice deep cranberry red that I think is honestly perfect for winter. This is like my ideal red for winter, but this is also just a great any time of year color, and I think it's just so beautiful. Again, we had really impressive coverage. I was expecting this one to also be a jelly formula, but it also ended up being a cream, so you don't have to worry about any visible nail line or anything. And I also really think that these shades would be perfect for nail art because of how opaque and smooth they are. It's just very easy to work with, very good formula. Next up we have the shade Hot Chicken, and this name immediately cracked me up when I first saw it. It is a super good name. But yeah, this is a very bright orangey red jelly shade that does end up giving full coverage. For some reason, when I looked at this color, it was really just making me think of, you know, those classic playing cards where you have the red and black, but the red is so bright that it almost looks orange. I feel like this is the exact color of that. So I definitely loved it. This is a great any time of year shade again, and even though it does have that jelly-like formula, you can see that after 2 coats, I didn't have any visible nail line. It was just really nice and squishy and shiny on the nails. Next up, we have the shade Heatwave, and this is a salmony orange cream shade. Again, really impressed with this one. This one was basically a 1-coater on me, which I thought was shocking, especially considering that it is bordering on a little bit pastel-like, but I did end up doing 2 coats for full coverage. By the way, I don't think I mentioned it, but the first 5 shades up through this one are what I'm wearing on my nails. I ended up doing a skittle with 5 different colors, and I thought these 5 colors looked really beautiful together, so if anybody's curious as to what I'm wearing in the intro and outro of this video, it is that, and I'm also still wearing it, and I don't have any chips, which is very impressive. Next up, we have the shade Pure Bliss, which is a super soft pastel, dusty lavender kind of color. It almost felt like a little bit taupey, but then once I applied it on my nails, I could definitely see some purpley undertones. And again, very impressed at the coverage on this. I expected, just because of how light the polish was, that it was going to be a 3-coater, but it ended up giving me great coverage in 2, and it's just a really great neutral to have for your nails. Like I did say, it does have a little bit of that taupey feel to it, so even if you're not a purple lover, I think this is a very good, especially for like the fall winter, good neutral cream to have for your collection. Next up, we have the shade Sea Queen, and this is a really beautiful teal cream shade. Again, incredible formula. So this one, as you can see, was a little bit sheer on the first coat, but I ended up getting perfect coverage in 2 coats. And again, I feel like just because of the thickness of this polish, I think it would be really great for nail art. And again, this is just a really good any time of year color. I love shades like this. I love seeing dollar store brands doing more shades than just like the reds and the pinks, so I think they have a great range of colors in this collection, and this is a great example of that. Next up, we have the shade Secret Hideaway, and this one is a very soft pastel green cream shade. I guess it's a little bit yellowy as well, but it especially looked yellowy on my skin tone, and this one I really did not have very high hopes for in terms of opacity, because shades like this tend to be at least 3-coaters, but this one, once again, a 2-coater. I feel like I sound like a broken record right now, but I really just want to emphasize how opaque these polishes are and how good this formula is. Now, just keep in mind, I do have short nails. However, for my nail length, 2 coats was perfect coverage for almost all of these. Next up, we have this really beautiful periwinkle cream shade, and are you guys ready for me to butcher the pronunciation of this one? It is called Après Ski, and this one immediately blew me away as soon as I applied it on the nails. First of all, it was almost opaque in 1 coat. I had just a touch of patchiness that I ended up clearing away in the 2nd coat, but oh my gosh, what a perfectly smooth, beautiful color. I would expect this type of formula in like a $10 polish, not a $1 polish. So I was very much in love with this color. I think it looks so beautiful on the nails. You can just see how easy that formula was to apply and how perfectly beautiful that color is, and just how smooth it is on the nail. My gosh, it self-levels so nicely. All of them do. Next up, we have the shade For the Win, and this is a cool toned brown cream shade. This one actually did have a little bit of a jelly-like feel to it, so as you can see, it was a little bit on the squishier side, and it wasn't perfectly opaque as a cream would be. However, I was able to get full coverage in that 2nd coat, and I think it's just a really good brown shade to have, especially if you're looking for a deeper brown with a cool undertone. I feel like those aren't that common, so I'm very glad to see that they have one. Again, very easy formula to work with, very smooth and self-leveling. I know I keep saying that, but it's true about all of them. Here is the last of the Ultra Shine polishes that I'm showing you guys today. This one is called Noir, and it is a black cream. Now, I didn't know exactly what to expect with this one because I wasn't sure if it was going to be 1 coat coverage, which I do tend to expect with black creams, but I was actually able to get that 1 coat coverage with this one. It was a good formula. It was easy to work with. It wasn't as self-leveling as the others, but it was still pretty good. So I feel like this is a really good dollar store option for a 1 coat black cream. So moving on to the Jetsetter Mani polishes that we have, this one is called Knighted, and it is a really beautiful, deep foresty green shade that has a little bit of a yellow undertone to it. Now, this one I felt gave me 100% perfect full coverage in just 1 coat. So I ended up trying to decide if I should put on a second, but honestly, it dried so quickly. I just really wanted to show you guys. This is 1 coat fully dried, and it was 30 seconds after applying. So very impressive formula on this one as well. Next up, we have the shade It's a Match, which is is a somewhat deeper red, and this one does have a little bit of that jelly-like feel to it, but again, super opaque even in just that first coat. I ended up doing a second coat just because I did feel like with that jelly-like formula that I might get a little bit of visible nail line, but honestly, looking at the video, I don't think I had any visible nail line even in just the first coat. Again, we had a really great formula here, really great opacity, very easy to work with formula, and it was super quick drying, which was very impressive. So you can see it's already pretty much dry as I'm just showing it off on the nail. And finally, for the Jetsetter polishes, we have Goody Gumdrop, and this is another cool toned pink cream. This one is a little bit lighter and brighter. This one feels like a Barbie pink to me, and again, what an incredible opaque formula these Jetsetter polishes have. You can see this is another one that was, again, just one coat, but I did end up doing a second one just because I wanted to see if that affected the opacity at all. Honestly, it didn't on my short nails. I feel like all three of these polishes would be one coaters on me, and now I really want to try more of these Jetsetter polishes because they're very quick drying and they're very opaque. So moving on to the Jelly Glaze formula, I was actually really excited about these because you guys know that I love jelly polishes. I feel like they're very much in style right now. So this one is called Surprise Party, and it is a purple cream that has a little bit of a vibrant shimmer running throughout. Kind of hard to tell in my indirect lighting, but once you're out in the sunlight, it does show off really beautifully. And wow, it was really perfect of me to start off the collection I was most excited about with my favorite color because I was totally enamored by this. Even though it did have that jelly-like squishiness to it, it was fully opaque. It was so smooth and easy to work with and just a gorgeous color. Next up, we have the shade Sound the Alarm, and this one is the most vibrant orangey red polish. Oh my gosh. First of all, one coat full opacity. I did end up doing a second coat just to show you guys, but this was fully opaque in one coat. Second of all, this color is so bright, it honestly looks neon to me. Like, this is a bright neon red to me. So this is like the perfect summer color. Again, it does have that jelly-like squishiness to it, but it was so opaque. So if you are a fan of the jelly look where it's like super shiny and almost plump on the nails, but you want it to be fully opaque, this is a great option for you. Next up, we have the shade Beach Wave, and this is a super pretty mint cream color. And this one, I felt it was actually a little bit more neon than my camera is showing. I would actually classify it probably as a neon pastel shade, but yeah, this one was super gorgeous. I didn't get full opacity in that first coat, which I definitely wouldn't have expected with a shade this light, but I surprisingly did manage to get full coverage in that second coat. So really impressive formula, especially on these lighter colors, which I feel like are a lot harder to do. This brand has definitely done an incredible job of them. So really gorgeous color, very bright, very pretty, and again, it has that really nice jelly-like shininess to it. Next up, we have the shade Up, Up, and Away, and this is a very beautiful, very cool toned gray cream polish. Again, we have really impressive opacity. I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm even saying that I'm a broken record a bunch of times, which makes me sound like even more of a broken record. But really, all of these polishes impressed me so much. I can't even stress to you enough how impressive these formulas were. I feel like I tend to be more forgiving to drugstore brands and dollar store brands, but honestly, I feel like these could really compare to like salon brands. They're very impressive quality, they're very impressive color range, and the formulas are just so good to work with. Oh my gosh. Next up, we have the shade CloudNine. This is another gray polish, but this one actually has a very vibrant violet shimmer running throughout. And this one does have a little bit more of that classic jelly-like feel. So you can see, even though it isn't patchy on the nails, it was definitely a little bit more sheer in that first coat, kind of looking like that see-through jelly-like look. But I did end up getting full coverage in the second coat. I still felt a lot of that jelly-likeness to it, and it was really hard to see that violet shimmer running throughout in my lighting again. So I pulled out my little phone flashlight just so you could try to see a little bit more of that vibrant color in there. Hopefully you are able to see a little bit more of it coming through, but yeah, it was just a really gorgeous color. And last, for the Jelly Glaze polishes, we have this shade Caviar, which in the bottle looked like a deep purple with a golden shimmer, but once I put it on the nail, I could see that it was more of a vibrant blue shade. Now, the interesting thing about this one is the more coats of coverage you do, the deeper that blue is going to be. So you can see it was almost like a royal navy blue on the first coat, but once I put on that second coat, coat, it almost looked blackened on the nails. So this is a really cool one that you can kind of choose how dark and deep you want the color to be. This is another one I think once you hit the sunlight with it, it's going to be so bright and shimmery and sparkly. So I really love shades like this. And finally, we have a couple of matte polishes. This is the Matte About It line, and this first one is called Why So Serious. It's a really beautiful, cool toned, beigey khaki, I want to say. Is khaki a color? I think it is. But yeah, this one was so gorgeous, and I knew it was going to be super beautiful once it dried down to that matte finish. So here it is wet, and then here you can see what it looks like when it is dry and matte. So it almost has a little bit of this like plasticky finish. It almost reminded me of like those leather bags, or I guess vegan leather bags too. And oh my gosh, what a pretty color. And finally, for the matte shades, and finally for all of the shades that I am sharing with you guys today, we have the shade Perfect Pitch, and this one is a rich primary blue that does dry down to a matte finish. I did pretty much get full coverage in the first coat, but since it is a little bit of a thinner polish, I did want to do a second coat, and I think that ended up being perfect on the nails. It's a really beautiful color. It doesn't dry too quickly, so you don't have to worry about speeding up with application, and it does dry down to that almost plasticky fun finish. So here are all of these shades that I reviewed together, and I did something a little bit different from my usual here. Normally I will showcase the comparisons of all the polishes in the order that I swatch them. One, because I generally try to swatch in rainbow order, and two, because I want you guys to not get confused. But since I did have a few different formulas and some similar colors across different formulas, since I did group the swatches together by formula, I wanted to showcase the comparisons by color, so you can see in some semblance of rainbow order which shades are similar to each other across the different formulas. So I hope that makes sense. I just wanted to be able to compare especially some of those reds and the pinks, just so you guys could see the differences. So if you are interested, you are gonna have to grab the name of the color and then figure out from the swatches what formula it is. So yeah, those are all the polishes that I'm sharing with you guys today, and like I've been saying, I'm very impressed with these. I think the colors are great. I'm loving the formula. The application is so smooth and easy, and I just love the range that they have. I love that there's these different lines for depending on what exactly you're looking for. I just think that's super awesome. So all of the formulas come in 10 milliliter bottles, and the prices slightly differ based on which formula you're going for. The Ultra Shine line retails for $1 USD, the Jetsetter and matte polishes retail for $2 USD, and the Jelly Glaze retails for $2.50 USD. And like I said, all of these polishes are available at Dollar General, so you can either order them online. I will put links down below for you guys, or you can get them at your local Dollar General. I will put a link to a store locator in the description, so you guys can check that out if you're interested in going in store. So Believe Beauty also came out with a ton of other nail art manicure type products, so let me just run through really quickly some of the highlights, the things that I'm the most excited about. So this is what I'm actually the most excited about, aside from the nail polishes obviously, but I have never seen this at any drugstore or dollar store at all, and I was just so excited to see. Believe Beauty actually came out with 3 different types of nail files. They're actually different grits. So if you guys aren't familiar with nail file grits and stuff like that, basically the lower the number is, the more coarse your nail file is going to be. So that standard nail file that you generally find everywhere, that's like a 180 grit nail file. That's just the standard. But personally, I prefer a higher grit nail file. I like a smoother filing experience. So they actually came out with 2 others. So they have the 240 grit, which is their medium, and then they have the 360 grit, which is a fine nail file. So I am very excited about this because I just feel like it's easier to file. You can work more precisely with those higher grits. So that's just what I personally love to use. They also have a ton of new nail art decals. So we've got some 3-dimensional rhinestone ones. We've got some little stickers that you can apply onto your nails, and there's so many different varieties. A lot of these are super cute, so I'm really excited to try them. And then one other thing I'm very excited about, because again, I've never seen this at a dollar store or drugstore before, is nail art stencils that they have. So I've got 2 of them here. I'm not sure if there are others, but if there are, I will link them down below. But yeah, I love stencils, and I feel like they're extremely hard to find unless you buy them online. So knowing that they have these are very cool. I don't know if you can tell, but they are holographic. That's super fun. But yeah, so very cool that they have those as well. And then of course they do have like your standard kits where we have like a pedicure set, we have a manicure set, we got buffing blocks, we've got cuticle nippers. They basically have anything that you need for nail polish and nail art. They've got you covered. So yeah, that is it for this review, but I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think of this brand new launch? Have you tried Believe Beauty before? And are you interested in trying any of these new lines? Let me know in the comments. You know I love to chat with you guys. If you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. And that's it for this one, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. All right, today's fun fact question comes from Patreon supporter Allison Lawrence, and Allison wants to know, if you could have any animal, real or fantasy, what would it be? So I think I have a strange answer here, although I guess it's not that strange. But when I was a kid, I desperately wanted a unicorn. Like, I was convinced that if I wanted it badly enough, I could make it real and then have a unicorn. Like, I didn't want a horse, I wanted a unicorn, and I wanted it to be able to fly, but I wasn't too particular. Like, I was fine with just a unicorn that couldn't fly as long as it was magical. I can't believe I'm talking about this. So I was really into the idea of having a unicorn, and I would, every morning I would wake up and I would look out the window because I would be like, I know that if I want it bad enough, I will see it on my front yard. And I never got that unicorn. So just for my childhood's sake, I will say I would like a unicorn. Personally, at this time in my life, I don't know where I would put it because I live in an apartment. So it would be, logistically, it would be difficult to own a unicorn. But I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a unicorn. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.